everyone, my name is Megma. We will be starting with a new chapter, that is Introduction to Three-Dimensional Geometry. Now you will be wondering why we require such kind of thing when we have a geometry for plane figures like square, quadrilaterals, circles and so on. So it's three-dimensional. As we know that a room contains three dimensions. First dimension is length. Second one is width, or I would say breadth. And third one is height. So a room in which we are sitting, it contains three dimensions. One is length, the other one is length, the other one is width, and the third one is height. So as we have mentioned, there are three dimensions. So a room is kind of a three-dimensional geometry, and we will be studying about that as we studied coordinate geometry previously. It is just an extension to it. In coordinate geometry, we were just talking about the two coordinate axes, that is x-axis and y-axis. Whereas over here in this particular chapter, that is Introduction to Three-Dimensional Geometry, we will be discussing about three dimensions, that is length, width and height. So we are expanding our aura. That is, firstly we discussed only about x-axis and y-axis. Now we will introduce another axis to it, that is z-axis. So this is how we will draw it. This is your plane of paper. If this is x-axis, this is y-axis, and that is z-axis. So x-axis, assume that you are sitting on a table, so let your length be x-axis, your breadth, or I would say width, be y-axis, and if you put anything, any scale or something perpendicular to the plane of your table, if you put something perpendicular to the plane of your table, that will be z-axis. So your x-axis will be length, your y-axis will be breadth, and the plane and the axis which is going perpendicular to the plane is known as z-axis. So the plane of your paper is known as the xy plane, and the plane which contains, so this is known as xz plane, plane of paper is known as xy plane, and this which contains z-axis and y-axis is known as yz plane. So these are the three planes that we are talking about. Initially we were just talking up till now, till class 10 we are talking only about xy plane, where we had this used to be our x-axis and this used to be our y-axis. This used to be first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant. But now we require some other, that is some third axis, if we want to locate any point in 3D. If you are sitting in a room and if you want to locate the tip of your fan, so the tip of your fan is something which contains all the three dimensions. That is, it contains some length, it contains some breadth, and it contains some height. So that particular point shows that particular point contains three dimensions, that is x dimension, y dimension and z dimension. So that is why we require the introduction to three-dimensional, because over here we will be talking about not only x-axis and y-axis, or I would say coordinate axis. One more coordinate axis will be added to it, that is z-axis. So now we have three axes, that is x-axis, y-axis and z-axis, and the intersection plane of x-axis and z-axis, or I would say the plane which contains x-axis and z-axis is known as xz plane, and the plane which contains y-axis and z-axis is known as yz plane, and the plane which contains x-axis and y-axis is known as xy plane. So these are the three planes which we are talking about, as two of our axes, that is x-axis and y-axis, divide the whole plane of paper into four quadrants: first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant. Now we have three dimensions, so it will be divided into 8 quadrants. So we have first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth. Now let's see, suppose now it will be divided into 8 octants. It is first octant, second octant, third octant, fourth octant, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth. Now let's make a table for it. X-axis, Y-axis, X, Y, and Z. In first octant, second octant, third octant, fourth octant, fifth octant, sixth octant, seventh, and eighth. So in first octant, everything, that is X is positive, Y is positive, Z is positive. In second octant, X is negative, Y is positive, Z is positive. In third octant, X is negative, Y is negative, Z is positive. In fourth octant, X is positive, Y is negative, and Z is also positive. Sorry. In fifth octant, X, Y are positive, Z is negative. Sixth octant, X is negative, Y is positive, and Z is also negative. And seventh octant, X, Y, Z, all three are negative. And in eighth octant, X is positive, Y is negative, and Z is negative. So these are the 4 octants: first octant, second octant, third octant, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth. All first to 4 octants contain Z has to be positive, and this is what we study when we are studying only quadrants. And from fifth to eighth, for all four of them, Z is coming out to be negative, and the rest goes as per the quadrants. So this is what is an introduction to three-dimensional, because till now we were only studying about the plane, that is XY plane, which is the plane of our table, which only contains X-axis and Y-axis, whereas now we will add one more axis to it, that is Z-axis. So because in a room we contain 3 dimensions, that is length, breadth, and height. So as we contain 3 dimensions, length, breadth, and height, we required 3-dimensional geometry as in a cube, cuboid, and so on. So we have over here the plane containing X-axis and Z-axis is XZ plane. The plane containing X-axis and Y-axis is XY plane. The plane containing Y-axis and Z-axis is YZ plane. And as XY divided into 4 quadrants, first, second, third, fourth, are XYZ, all 3 axes divided into 8 octants: first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth. So we can see in first octant X, Y, Z, all 3 are positive. In second octant, X is negative, Y is positive, Z is positive. In third octant, X is negative, Y is negative, Z is positive. In fourth octant, X is positive, Y is negative, Z is positive. So we can see from first to fourth octant, or for all 4 octants, Z is always positive, and we are going as and in X and Y we are following the signs as we follow in quadrants. In first quadrant it is positive positive, in second quadrant it is negative positive, in third quadrant it is negative negative, and in fourth quadrant it is positive negative. Whereas from fifth to eighth we in the sign of the Z-axis is negative, or the sign of the Z coordinate is negative, and the same kind of a pattern is followed. In fifth, it's X and Y are positive. In sixth, X is negative, Y is positive. In seventh, both X, Y are negative, and in eighth, X is positive, Y is negative. So this is all this is all 8 octants that we are talking about. Okay. Now as we see, if we want to state the distance formula, so distance formula in coordinate geometry that we had studied earlier is x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. Suppose there are 2 points A with coordinates x2, y2, and there is another point B with coordinates x1, y1. So the distance between A, B is equal to this, that is x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. So this was the distance formula which we studied earlier. That was only for the 2 axes, that is x-axis and y-axis. Now we have 3 coordinates, that is x, y, z. So we have some points, suppose A having coordinates x1, y1, z1, and we have point B having coordinates, B having coordinates x2, y2, z2, and I want to find the distance between the point A and B. I will follow the same distance formula. But it will be expanded to 3 dimensions. So it is x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square plus z2 minus z1 whole square. So this is the distance formula between 2 points in 3D space, that is A point and B point. A having the dimensions x1, y1, A having the dimension x1, y1, z1, and B having dimension x2, y2, z2. So AB is the distance between 2 points, that is A and B. So it is equals to x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 plus y2 minus y1 whole square plus z2 minus z1 whole square. We have just expanded. Initially we had this kind of a formula only for 2 coordinates, that is x coordinate and y coordinate. Now we have expanded this formula to 3 coordinates, that is x coordinate, y coordinate and z coordinate, else the structure of the formula will remain the same. So this is the distance formula in 3 dimensions. When we are talking about that we have to find distance between 2 points, it will be the same as like this. Okay, now let's do some questions for it. So example first. Example first is, if you want to locate the following points, and I would say in what we are given some points and we have to locate them in their respective octants. So it is 1, 2, 3. In which octant it will lie? It will lie as x is greater than 0, y is greater than 0, z is greater than 0. So it will lie in x is positive, y is positive, and z is positive. So it will lie in first octant. Second is 4, minus 2, 3. See, we can see that x is greater than 0, y is less than 0, and z is greater than 0. So if x is positive, y is negative, and z is positive, so it will lie in the fourth octant, because in first to fourth, as we can see, z is greater than 0. That means it will be either first, second, third, or fourth. And according to the sign, that is x is greater than 0, y is less than 0, means it will lie in the fourth octant. Let's go for one more example. The point given is 2, minus 4, minus 7. So it is x is greater than 0, y is less than 0, and z is also less than 0. So as we can see, z is less than 0, so it will be either 5, 6, 7, or 8. So according to the sign, x is greater than 0, y is less than 0. So x positive and y negative. It will lie in the 8th octant. Wonderful. Okay. So these are some examples where we have to locate certain points in the respective octants, that is in which octant they will lie. So first example, what we did is 1, 2, 3. As we can see, x is greater than 0, y is greater than 0, z is greater than 0. So all 3 coordinates of it is, that is x coordinate, y coordinate, z coordinate are greater than 0. So it will lie in the first octant. Second, what we are left with is x is greater than 4, minus 2, 4, minus 2, 3. 4 is greater than 0, y is less than 0, and z is greater than 0. As we know, z is greater than 0 and z greater than 0 only lies in 4 quadrants, that is 4 octants, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can see x is greater than 0, y is less than 0. That means it will lie in the 4th octant. The third example that we did over here is 2, minus 4, minus 7. X is greater than 0, y is less than 0, z is less than 0. So z is less than 0, so it will lie either in 5, 5th octant, 6th octant, 7th octant, or 8th octant. And now we can see that x is greater than 0 and y is less than 0. If x is greater than 0, y is less than 0, so it will lie in the 8th octant. Now let's go for some other examples using the distance formula. Between 2 points, that is minus 1, 3, minus 4 and 1, minus 3. So applying the formula, that is x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square plus z2 minus z1 whole square. So x2 minus x1 is equals to, x2 is minus 1 and x1 is 1. So it is minus 1 minus 1, which is equals to minus 2. Then we have y2 minus y1, which is equals to, this is x2, y2, z2, x1, y1. So next is 3 minus minus 3, so which is equals to 3 plus 3 equals to 6. Then is z2 minus z1, which is equals to minus 4 minus 4, which is equals to minus 8. So applying this particular thing, what we got next is x2 minus x1 value is minus 2 whole square, plus y2 minus y1 is 6, so 6 whole square, plus z2 minus z1 is minus 8, so it is minus 8 whole square. Now what we have got is minus 2 whole square is 4, 6 whole square is 36, minus 8 whole square is 64. 36 plus 64 is 100, 100 plus 4 is 104. So the distance between these 2 points is 104, root of 104 units. So this is how we can find distance between any 2 points using the distance formula in 3 dimensions. Next is, let's take some new next example, that is example 3, in which we have to prove that minus 2 comma 3 comma 5, 1 comma 2 comma 3, and the third point is 7 comma 0 comma minus 1. So all these 3 points are collinear. Prove that these points are collinear. So let's take out first the distance between, let name them, it is A, B, C. So we will first take out the distance between AB, that is AB is equals to under root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square plus z2 minus z1 whole square. So putting the values for it, that is minus 2 minus 1 whole square plus 3 minus 2 whole square plus 5 minus 3 whole square, which is equals to under root of minus 3 whole square plus 1 whole square plus 2 whole square. So which is equals to root of 9 plus 1 plus 4, which is equals to root 14 units. Now we are taking out the value of BC, which is equals to under root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square plus z2 minus z1 whole square. So which is equals to under root of 1 minus 7 whole square plus 2 minus 0 whole square plus 3 minus 1 whole square. So which is equals to under root of minus 6 ka whole square plus 2 ka whole square plus 4 ka whole square, which is equals to under root 36 plus 4 plus 16, which is equals to root 56 units, which can be written as 2 root 14 units. Now we are taking out the value between A and B, 2 points. Second between B and C. Now we are taking out the value for third, that is A and C. Under root of minus 2 minus 7 whole square plus 3 minus 0 whole square plus 5 minus 1, that is 5 plus 1 whole square, which is equals to root of 9 minus 9 whole square plus 3 whole square plus 6 whole square, which is equals to under root of 81 plus 9 plus 36, which is equals to 91 root of 126 units. Correct? And now this can be written as 3 root 14 units. As this can be written as 3 root 14 units, what we can see next is that we can see that AB plus BC is equals to AC, because it is root 14 plus 2 root 14 is equals to 3 root 14. That means AB plus BC is equals to AC. So this shows that A, B, C are collinear points. So let's collinear points. Now let's revise what we have done in this particular class. Let's start. We are starting from the initial first introduction to three-dimensional geometry. Till now we have only studied about two-dimensional geometry, where we are talking about only two dimensions, that is x and y. But now we have introduced one more axis, that is z-axis. So the plane which contains x-axis and z-axis is xz plane. The plane which contains x-axis and y-axis is known as xy plane, and the plane which contains y-axis and z-axis is known as yz plane. X and y axis divided the whole plane into four coordinates, that is first, second, third, fourth. XYZ axis will divide it into 8 octants, that is first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and depending where, and then we can give the signs for the three coordinates, that is x coordinate, y coordinate, and z coordinate. In first quadrant, x, y, z all are positive. In second quadrant, x is negative, y, z are positive. In third quadrant, x, y are negative and z is positive. Fourth quadrant, x is positive, y is negative, z is positive. In fifth quadrant, x is positive, y is positive, z is negative. In sixth quadrant, x is negative, y is positive, z is negative. In seventh quadrant, x, y, z all three are negative, and in eighth quadrant, x is positive, y, z are negative. Initially we had a distance formula which was equal to under root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. Now what we have, this was the distance formula only for two axes, that is x-axis and y-axis, or I would say a point in a plane, when the points were lying only in a plane. But now we have point in 3D space, so we expanded the formula from x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square under root to third axis also, that is z-axis. So now the new formula will be under root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square plus z2 minus z1 whole square. Then we attempted some questions, where in the questions we were saying that where these points will lie, we will locate these points depending upon the signs of x, y, and z. If we can see that in 1, 2, 3, x is positive, y is positive, z is positive. So all three are positive, it will lie in the first octant. In second example, it is 4 comma minus 2 comma minus 3. X is positive, y is negative, z is positive, so it will lie in the fourth octant. Next is 2 comma minus 4 comma minus 7. X is positive, y is negative, z is negative, so it will lie in the eighth octant. Then using the distance formula, we found out the distance between 2 points, that is minus 1 comma 3 comma minus 4 and 1 comma minus 3 comma 4. Then using the distance formula only, we tried to prove 3 points to be collinear by taking out the distance between between the points taken two at a time. First we found out distance between AB, then we found out distance between BC, and thirdly we found out distance between AC. And now we can see that AB plus BC is equals to AC, so that means ABC are collinear points. So that is all for today's class. In next class what we will study is section formula. We are just section formula that we had studied in coordinate geometry in 10th class. We will just expand that particular formula to the three dimensional to use it into three-dimensional geometry, because that particular formula was only for 2 dimensions. Now we have added one more dimension, that is the z-axis. So we will expand that particular formula to 3 dimensions. And that is all for today's class. Thank you.